Hey folks, David Stewart here. Star Wars Episode X, the final trailer. If only we could hope it was the final movie. But alas, the nature of corporate IP ownership is as such, especially when you pay billions of dollars for a franchise, that they're going to milk it until there is absolutely no money left to extract from fans. So buckle up and get ready. This is not the last Star Wars movie, and we can almost certainly guess this will not tie up the Skywalker saga in any meaningful respect, because as soon as they want a little bit more money, they're going to try to find a way to continue it or add more interquels or whatever they're going to do. Anyway, this trailer, there's not that much to talk about. Unlike trailer number 2, this one at least contains new footage. So trailer number 2, the majority of it was actually just old pieces of movies designed to provoke your nostalgia and make you get hyped about this new movie. Now, of course, I'm contributing to the hype by talking about it. I'm quite aware, but hopefully I will convince some of you to see what they're doing here. Once again, they are banking on nostalgia, because although all of this is new footage, it's new footage of old things. Not even the new versions of the old things, which is what we got in the previous 2 movies, like the new versions of the Star Destroyers. It's the old Star Destroyers, like rising from the water. They're cool images of old things. We have the Rebel fleet with all the old ships from 30 years ago flying in to do some sort of battle. And then we even have pieces of the Death Star. Somehow it didn't get atomized like we saw at the Return of the Jedi, but crashed down into Endor. Indeed, we even have, Rey and Kylo in the throne room from Return of the Jedi. We're just returning to Return of the Jedi. It's the return of the Rise of Skywalker Jedi, whatever it's going to be. And we even have a voiceover from the Emperor himself, who is going to show up again. And he says, your coming together will be your undoing, I think is what he says, which basically hints that Kylo and Rey are going to somehow together try to fight the Emperor, much like what happened at the end of Return of the Jedi. I'm sad to say it, but with this one, what's probably going to happen is that you're going to find that The Last Jedi, the least popular Star Wars movie of all time, may end up being the most original thing that Disney's come up with, as weird as that is. This looks like it's just repetitions of old images. And as I see the way that they constructed this trailer, I'm reminded of kind of how they constructed Force Awakens, which is, rather than having a coherent story and going from there, they really decided they wanted to put in iconic images. So they put in all of these images and they kind of tried to link them together with a story somehow. And that's kind of what I see in this. It's like, the Star Destroyers rising. It's like, we got to have a shot of them in the throne room from Return of the Jedi. We got to have this. Let's have a cavalry charge on top of a Star Destroyer with Space Horses, because that makes sense. How stupid is that, by the way? Another thing about this trailer is just the music is awful. It's this halftime Star Wars theme over a pedal point. It just really is a lame sounding piece of music. I don't think John Williams composed it. It sounded like something that was composed by a newer film score composer specifically for this trailer. I'd be very shocked if I actually heard that music in the movie, because it's quite lame and cheesy, and really just about being loud and not conveying any kind of deeper emotional set. The whole point of a pedal point is that you just have a continual, persistent line of dissonance, of tension that doesn't really get resolved till you get to the end. Anyway, so there's not that much to talk about with this trailer. A bunch of images of old aesthetics from the OT. That's what they've been banking on in this trilogy from the beginning, is that you will feel good about seeing the stuff from the late 70s and early 80s again. So if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get to see with Episode X. For everybody else, I am not confident that this will save the trilogy. I don't think there's really anything to be saved from this trilogy anyway. So if Episode X turns out to be good, it's like, well, then they happened to make one good movie somehow in a field of garbage. But I'm not holding out hope. My expectations are lower than they ever have been. So I recommend you guys don't watch Star Wars Episode X. At least don't pay to watch Star Wars Episode X. I may do a review on it, but that is to gather up more people to understand the nature of corporate Disney hegemony and, of course, the Star Wars franchise as it relates to that. So leave me your thoughts on the trailer down below, though. Maybe you liked it. Maybe you saw it and you were like, man, this really gets me hyped to see Episode X. And I think for people who are already hyped to see Episode X, who maybe liked The Last Jedi, It's going to make them even more hyped. They're seeing more of those OT things. The Emperor's back, yeah. For everybody else, I think we're just even more cynical than we were before. So thanks so much, and I will see you guys next time. Hey, my newest book, City of Silver, I don't have a copy to show you because they don't exist yet. It's coming out on November 1st in paperback and ebook. You can pre-order the ebook right now for 99 cents, and that's what's up. So it's another little fantasy tale. Newest other book, sci-fi, Voices of the Void, out now on the Kindle and paperback platforms. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.